Hey, and welcome to Geek Out. I'm Gutsman.
I'm Rockman.
I'm Metalman.
And I'm Cutman.
And we're back with just the theme from Mega Man 2 for no fucking reason.
Why not?
Yeah. You guys have any memories of Mega Man at all?
No. Never played it.
Difficult and a pain in the ass.
So,
Actually, I might have played X on emulator.
oh yeah, for Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, man.
Mega Man.
Yeah. There's no man. There's a Proto Man.
Should be.
Yeah, there should be. I mean, they got to the point with like Mega Man 6 where Nintendo and Capcom would take requests via Nintendo Power for future Robot Masters, and some of them were just like, I think there's like Seahorse Man, and there was like Spring Man, who was just like this bouncing like asshole. He kind of looked like one.
The best kind of asshole.
Yeah. I thought anyway. So you guys got anything new this week?
I watched the premiere of Scream Queens.
How was that?
I actually found it to be quite enjoyable. I've seen a lot of hate that it's been getting, but that's mostly because, like, at least from the people that I saw posting about it, they were like, I thought it was going to be a mix between Glee and American Horror Story. And like, I was like, what? You mean like a musical American Horror Story with...
Has Ariana Grande and Nick Jonas.
Actually, oddly enough, Nick Jonas is probably my favorite part about the show so far. And and by premiere, it was like a double episode. So I got to see the first 2 episodes. And I think by the time this podcast comes out, they will have aired the 2nd/3rd episode, depending on how you want to count it. I'm going to say 2nd episode because that's how I roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far Nick Jonas, thumbs up. Like I was like this kid, he's probably going to be, cute and adorable for the rest of his life. But no, he actually acts really well. And it's really funny seeing him play, like, his character clearly homosexual and like in love with his best friend Gabe, or whatever the fuck his name is. I've already forgotten. But so I was kind of surprised seeing him do that, because my picture of the Jonas Brothers were very quote unquote, clean, conservative.
Well, they were very
musical.
publicly had like the promise rings.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm sure, not to say that, homosexuals can't also have promise rings and stuff like that, but like their image seemed to be very on the conservative,
traditional family values.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is great seeing him like break out of that, like almost as far as you can get, because there's like a scene where he's cuddling with his best friend because he's worried because there's a serial killer loose on campus. And
are they in college or high school?
Yeah, it's college.
Okay, so
yeah.
like, yeah.
It's about a
not like Scream the TV series,
right? It's which was terrible. That's right, I said it.
I didn't see it.
I don't think anyone would argue with me, except for maybe the same kids that like Teen Wolf on MTV.
Hey, Corey.
Sorry, Corey.
I've seen some of Teen Wolf. Kevin Jonas follows me on Twitter.
Does he?
Yeah, I have no idea why. I think
that's right. You've said that before.
Yeah, like I have nothing against the Jonas Brothers. They're from Wyckoff, New Jersey, where my dad is from.
Oh.
I have nothing against.
Were they born to run?
I probably.
Yeah, they don't live there anymore.
I've never.
They're pretty cut, so
I have nothing against the Jonas Bros, but
the Joe Bros.
Yeah, and they're the other one that wasn't in the band is called Bonus Jonas. But because my sister was.
Please tell me that's his real name.
I wish Bonus J Jonas. No, but like one day I think because I listened to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast, and I guess they teamed up on the Celebrity Apprentice, or they were on it together. And I guess he might have. I have no idea. Like one day it was like Kevin Jonas follows you. He was like, "The fuck out of here! Why does Kevin Jonas follow me?"
And it's not like a fan account or anything.
No, it's the blue check
account?
mark.
Oh, wow.
Kevin Jonas. So good, your brother. Good job for a show I haven't seen.
Yeah,
but
hey,
I'm gonna check
maybe
it out.
Kevin Jonas listens to our podcast because you tweet links.
I do.
Speaking of famous siblings, you used to be followed by Frank Stallone.
Yeah, he followed me after I said something like nice about him.
He's got a great figure.
Yeah, it was before that. Not Momoa, not yet. Not the Momoa years. He doesn't follow me anymore though.
You have offended him.
I don't know. Yeah,
probably liking his brother too much. You're like, he's like, I'm my own person.
It's totally random. Like the the people you get following you on Twitter, like the quote unquote official blue check verified people.
I have CNN anchors following me.
One of
Yoko Ono follows me on Twitter.
Yeah. One of the DJs for 99.5, Hot 99.5 here in the DC area follows me.
I've got Andrew WK and Mara Wilson.
Nice. The Beatles follow me on Twitter.
Right.
They do.
Well, I mean, I was.
Which one, George?
No.
Wow.
He can't.
R.I.P. George.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
No.
Because Paul and Ringo have their own accounts.
They do.
But I mean, Paul can't really either because Paul's dead.
But yeah, the funny thing about like the Beatles account following.
Sorry, I went down that rabbit hole a little while ago. Actually, like looking into all the Paul is dead conspiracy stuff because I like conspiracy theories.
I was all about that. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I don't believe it, but like I still like reading about it.
Yeah,
especially like all the things that people are like, oh, but see, because he's wearing shoes and he isn't, and because Paul's looking this way, and the golden dove over here. I don't even know if there's a golden dove involved, but
heard,
those are like three different theories mashed together.
I've heard all the Easter eggs about like album cover art and music videos
and lyrics,
and of course lyrics. Yeah,
but it's a lot of fun. Again, I think it's a thing the Beatles took and ran with and had a lot of fun with. Especially John.
If I heard that there were rumblings of shit like that, I'd be like, well, let's take it up to 11.
I think it's fascinating. Again, I don't believe it, but I think it's fascinating. No, but I was gonna say like the funny thing about like, oh, the Beatles follow me is like. All that means is some tech intern was like, this poor bastard has like 3 followers and he mentioned the Beatles once. Let's make his day.
Yeah, I get followed by a lot of business accounts. Like people that are like I'm like, who the hell is this? And I go and look at their profile, and it's like it's a very corporate this person helps boost corporate efficiency. Blah blah blah, and I'm like. The fuck did I do to deserve this?
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe I'm their target audience because they want to mold me into, a business tycoon, and then buy the cure for cancer and bump it up, 5,000%.
Oh yeah, that dude. Oh man.
Since reneged on that, and
we
the
have
price
to give him,
I have no idea if the price is back to what it was originally, but it is definitely not
like the $5,000.
The new price point hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, so he's still not good.
Yeah. No, not
still asleep.
Never will be.
I think we can all agree that man's never going to be a good person.
No.
But he's at least not. He followed the demand. Yes. The free market in action.
Yeah. Everyone tends to forget that the invisible hand of the free market is usually giving everybody the middle finger.
Yeah.
Josh, you got any celebrity followers on your Twitter or Tumblr?
Like Haley Atwell or something?
If I do, I don't really pay any attention or give any fucks.
Oh.
I usually get the kind of followers of like, hey, I'm an up and coming R&B or rap.
He's welcome to follow me.
Yeah. I don't turn people away.
No. Oh, I do. It's like, thank God for that mute and block button.
Yeah, I've never used the mute or block button. I see zero reason.
Back when I first got my Twitter,
because I'm not a famous person. If I was a famous person, probably there would be a high need for that.
Back when I first got my Twitter, whenever I would look and see who was following me, I would. If it looked like they were some kind of spam account or something like that, I would block them. But at this point, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's too much extra effort to actually see if they're a real account or not.
Mm-hmm. And for the most part, I just assume that most of them are spam accounts.
Yeah, but
except for Elizabethany at Hot 99.5. Sup, girl?
I've
met her in person.
Does Con follow you on Twitter?
Yeah,
from
DC 101.
Yeah,
nice.
And I think Thomas Jane follows me on Twitter. Because we talked about Westerns once.
It's all it takes.
It's all it takes.
He wanted so bad to be Jonah Hex.
He should have been.
Belloc.
Should have been.
One of his ex-wives.
Freeman. Yeah,
Paul Freeman. One of his ex-wives. I don't think she follows me, but she definitely favorited my tweet saying that I will always remember him as Ivan Ooze, not as Belloc or any of his other.
That's
great
such
roles.
A weird thing to happen,
right? And
Twitter's a magical place, man.
Yeah,
I love
and now
Twitter.
Ivan Ooze is the new bad guy in X-Men. Apocalypse.
Though there have been other reports and from the cast and people in the crew, and they're like, I don't know why Fox decided to release that picture of
because it's not the final picture.
No, that's not the issue with it.
The lighting everyone's kind of got a purple hue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, he's not fucking purple in the movie.
Oddly enough, I have no problem with him being purple, because
If anything, you prefer.
yeah, but that's not the issue that I took from the quote. We'll go ahead and say inaccuracies of his costume. I mean, I totally subscribe to the opinion of one's a comic book movie, so it doesn't have to follow it perfectly, but it looks weird.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I'll save my final judgment for when the movie actually comes out, but yeah, he just looks too much like Ivan Ooze.
It is weird because the Fox Fox has been treating a lot of the X-Men films like they kept it grounded, like the black leather suits and the everything was very it's like, we don't want colored costumes, no blue and yellow. Like Wolverine doesn't wear a costume, though apparently he gets the in the deleted scenes for the Wolverine, he gets the tan and
the black and tan.
I wish it was nah, but
nah, brah.
But with all of a sudden they're just like, fuck it, it's fucking.
Well, I think the thing that's
Apocalypse.
happening with the X-Men movies, I was thinking about this today.
I mean, Wolverine went back and changed the past, so who knows what costumes they've been wearing now.
I mean, I think it's, when the X-Men movies started in the early 2000s, like Sam was saying, they didn't have the success of the Marvel movies to see that, you can have costumes and make it work. So the X-Men movies are, their lifespan is, starting out with, oh, yes, we're going to be serious, the black leather, blah, blah, blah. You can't have spandex, to where in the middle of their lifespan, that starts working with Marvel. Like, Marvel starts making it work. You can wear this outfit. You can make it look, good. And now they're kind of turning and going oh yes, I guess we're going to change everything, and they're evolving. They're evolving with the way comic movies have evolved as well.
Like with First Class, they all wore the Vault Boy suit.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, that was their suit in the First Class miniseries.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a nice little nod. And by the end of the movie, Magneto's got the full on original Magneto costume with the little horns on the helmet. And it's just oh.
Yeah, and then they ditched that for when they it's a totally different outfit.
They ditch it pretty quick in Days of Future Past.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the title. I could never think of that title for some damn reason.
Yeah. But there was another, going back to Scream Queens, there was another.
I did see Scream Queens. Guys.
Yeah, but there was another premiere, television-wise, a couple actually.
Yeah. Ooh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is back. Remember when we talked about that so long ago? And
have you seen it?
Yeah.
How's Bill Hader?
Very funny. So he was great in it. My 2 cents on Bill Hader being on the cast was that I don't know if you guys watched season 2, but the whole season 2 ended on the cliffhanger of who is the new captain of the precinct, and they did the whole elevator opens and you see his legs or whatever, and the whole summer you're like, who's it gonna be? And then I wish the marketing had just been teasing who's the new guy, who's the new, but the
every
first
month it's a little bit more of his body.
Something like that. But the first bit of advertising for season 3 was Bill Hader's the new captain, and I was like,
it's kind of like you get this kind of marquee SNL guy that used to work with Sandberg for years.
Touche. It does make sense. You would want a big name actor like that to be advertised, because people are going to watch just because Bill Hader's on it. Spoiler alert, he doesn't survive the episode.
Oh shit, there goes me watching the show.
Well, but if you guys don't mind more spoilers, they have...
Well, I'm not watching it now because he's dead.
They have a third captain who comes in, and it's my favorite character from a Hellraiser series, and everyone's favorite character from the Allstate commercials, Dean Winters. Mayhem?
Yeah, I was gonna say
the guy from 30. The guy from 30 Rock.
Yeah.
I know him from
and Sirens.
Rescue Me.
Rescue Me. Yeah, he was on Rescue Me. Yeah. He's been on a couple episodes. He has a character that is on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Up straight in my seat and was like, "What? Yes!" Because I love Dean Winters so much. He was in my favorite Hellraiser.
Yeah, he gets annihilated in John Wick.
Yeah, well, he also gets annihilated in that Hellraiser.
He gets annihilated in Rescue Me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He turns out okay. Commercial for the Allstate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's his thing.
Yeah, he walks away. But yeah, there's been like two other premieres as well. There's been like the latest, the second season with Peter Capaldi of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
A hell of a lot better than most season premieres have been.
Of Doctor Who or just in general?
Yeah.
You left that kind of open.
Well, to be fair, it could be said for both.
A little bit of color me. A little bit of color me.
You
Yeah.
see, I actually like a lot of the Doctor Who season premieres.
I only have one season premiere under my belt, and the test rate. I thought it was a great episode.
the 11th hour for him.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really good.
that's a good one.
Well, I enjoy a season premiere that surprises me, which is hard to do. You know, most of the time television
that's
writing.
because you just read spoilers constantly.
well, even
And the BBC is terrible at oh, by
Terrible.
the way, here's how next week's episode is going to end.
Here's the
it
captain.
has
It's
had,
Bill
yes,
Hader.
Yeah.
the BBC has had a history of that.
guys, it'd be great if Bill Hader was the captain.
He's not going to survive the episode either.
Yeah, but
then
we'll bring in Dean Winters to reprise his role.
If the moon was made out of spare ribs, would you eat them?
We're going there.
Heck, I know. I would. I'd have
Dude,
seconds.
the Cubs made the postseason, man.
Oh, wow. Do you think they're actually going to win the World Series?
They're a pretty good team. I mean, I would love for them
That
to win
doesn't
the World
answer the
Series.
question.
That's not a
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it does, kind of, because a pretty good team could win the fucking World Series.
Do you
So I
think-
think they have a chance.
you think
Against
they
Miami?
Or the Mets?
Dude, the Mets.
Wait, guys.
We gotta-
It's 2015. If the Cubs
That's what I'm
win, that's
saying.
just another thing that
Yeah.
Back to the Future got right.
I mean, I think they could win the World Series. I mean, granted, they have 107 years since they've won a World Series,
Yeah,
but
well,
so they're about due.
I think remembers it more like the casual, like non-sports fans or non-baseball fans just know him for his like quotes.
Mhm.
But yeah, he really was like a big-time Yankee player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
one of the last honest to God living legends. And there was a lot of great tributes throughout baseball for him.
Yeah,
and
they all wore the
sports in
number
general.
8.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's cheesy, but like the Giants, their Monday night game. No, I'm sorry, their Thursday night game, and it was their first game, post Yogi Berra passing away, and the night that.
It also helped that they were playing the Redskins.
It's true. That's very true.
It's a top tier team, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
But the
HTTR, man.
the night that he passed away, the Yankees had this like crazy, not come from behind victory, but just ass kicking victory. Like they're still in the hunt. By the time this podcast posts, we'll probably know if the Yankees made the postseason or not. But
The Empire State Building lit up in pinstripes.
yeah, exactly. Chuck D from Public Enemy drew a Public Enemy. He drew a Yogi Berra a little drawing. There's just so much. Because Yogi Berra was just one of the good guys. Just classic baseball. And like Sam said, he had the great Yogi-isms like if you get to the fork in the road, take it.
Deja vu all over
Deja
again.
vu all over again. I thought it was semi-sweet. Always go to everybody else's funeral, so they go to yours. And then the classic paraphrasing, but baseball is the greatest thing in the world, and love is the greatest thing in all the world, and baseball is pretty good too. But yeah, it's a bummer, man. I mean,
What was that? Half the time, something.
90% of baseball is 90% mental half the time, or 90% of baseball is mental half the time, or something like along those lines. But yeah, just all kinds of classic stuff, and he was a great player too. I mean, he was on some great teams. In my brother's room, I was actually staying at my parents' house right around the time that he passed, and my dad is like the biggest Yankees fan in the world. And in my brother's room is the picture of the perfect game thrown in the World Series, and the classic shot of Yogi Berra jumping up in what's, I can't remember his name. It's terrible. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. His arms, and like just jumped up and bear hugged him, and it's one of the great images in all baseball history. And number 8 was worn all over the place. And Don Mattingly, one of my favorite Yankees of all time, who's the manager for the Dodgers, always wears a jacket. And for the game after the announcing of his passing, he took his jacket off, and he was wearing a number 8. Like, still had the Yankees pride, even though he's not associated with them anymore, and doesn't have that killer mustache anymore either, which is a bummer. But yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. I mean, he was 90. I mean, he lived a hell of a life, and and did some great things.
Yeah, if you can break 75, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Especially as an athlete.
Oh, yeah.
And catcher, too. I mean, that's hell on your knees and
Always in that position.
and everything, yeah.
Sure. But yeah, Josh, wasn't there one more season premiere?
Yes, of Gotham.
How was it? They've been advertising this one as Rise of the Villains.
It's been a hell of a lot better than the first season.
Sure. Is it just like better put together? Is it like...
It feels like they actually know what they want to do with this season, as opposed to the first season kind of just throwing shit out there and seeing what entertains the fans
like
and what doesn't.
Fish.
Mooney.
Thank God she's gone.
Yeah.
I liked. I saw it as well. I liked it. I still don't shit on season 1 nearly as much as you do. Like I really
season
enjoyed.
1 got better as it went along.
I think the biggest quote unquote problem with season 1 is that how like
a fish, a moon.
Well, yes, okay. The number 2 problem with season 1 was
a fish, a moon.
how stylized it was, and I think that's what kind of like threw a lot of people off.
Wait,
sorry. Remember in fucking season 1 where I swear to God this is 100% true, Sam, because I know you didn't see it, but just don't worry about it. There is a scene.
I've been in Florida.
It's on Netflix now.
There is a scene in season 1 where a fish, a moon, grabs a spoon and sticks it in her eyeball.
Yeah, her own eyeball
while screaming, "Ah!" Pops her eyeball out. It lands on the ground and she steps on it. Season 1.
for good reason.
I guess.
And this is done by
A fish, a moon. Yeah. Well, it's because so paraphrasing or like compressing everything that happened in this arc of like probably like 5 episodes. She gets kidnapped essentially by a guy that's like harvesting parts, and she realizes that he only wants her because of her eyes, and she's like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna ruin the pair, So that's why she pops her eye out.
Does she have an eye patch for the rest of the season?
Yes. All like 3 episodes that she's in.
Okay.
Well, she also then gets a eye.
Oh.
Yeah, doesn't she have a different
like
color
Minority
eye?
Report?
Oh yeah. For a little while she has a fake eye.
Ah.
Or someone else's eye.
Also,
Yeah.
for the sake of my dad disowning me, or not disowning me, it was Don Larson who threw the perfect game for the Yankees. I had to look it up because he would have fucking killed me. So
for the past 5 minutes, your dad's he's going
for the
out
past
of the
5 minutes.
will.
I was like what the fuck? I know this. What the fuck? I had to look it up, and I was just like, oh, he's gonna fucking kill me.
You're still getting stuff taken out of the will. You're not out of it
Well,
completely.
he'll sit me down like, Jake, you were never in the will in the first place. But let's just say you're definitely never going to be in the will.
Yeah. Now the will has me taking stuff from you.
Yeah. I'm taking your Colin Baker.
Your milkshake.
Yeah, I'm taking your Colin Baker blind box fucking Doctor Who. Dude, speaking of Gotham, my dad fucking loves some Gotham.
Yeah.
Like he didn't grow up reading comic books. He doesn't have any he likes comic books now, which is crazy still for me to say, but like he doesn't have like an allegiance to it, like, oh, that's not how the fucking Joker is.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that
I remember
must be so nice being able to
he
watch
was like
something without that prejudice.
He was like cuz he came into the comic shop one time and he was like, hey, so how do you guys like in Gotham? People are like, Batman is a boy, he's not Batman yet. And then my dad is just like, so what? Fuck it. It's entertaining.
The one thing, or well, two things that I was kind of like about the season premiere. They've built their own Suicide Squad, which I was like,
some kind of Suicide Squad in that thing.
Yeah, right.
Some kind of Gotham, some kind of fish, a moon.
By yelling "Fish Mooney" at the same time.
I'll have the a fish a Mooney, please.
You know what I'm going to name this episode?
A fish a Mooney.
Searching for fish Mooney.
A fish called Mooney.
But so
a fish called a Mooney.
If any of our listeners ever see me crossing the road, for the love of God, please don't stop. Keep going.
Yeah,
Slam on that accelerator.
You kill him off just like a fish, a Mooney. The Kermit hands. Hey, a fish Mooney.
Hey, did either of you guys watch The Muppets?
I did actually.
In all seriousness.
Yeah. It was really weird hearing Kermit say "sexy."
She's pretty sexy.
Yeah. That's basically how it came off. And I feel I didn't check the credits, but I felt a great lacking of Frank Oz. You know, even though I'm pretty sure he's still alive and kicking, right?
He's
guys?
still around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jim Henson's gone,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but yeah.
So many of the original voice actors are not involved for one reason or another. Mostly probably because of death. Because I feel like it's been a long time.
It's been like close to 40 years for the
Yeah.
original Muppet Show.
But yeah, it was just weird. And also, like, it looked like it was basically 30 Rock with Muppets. And I was like,
You're not selling it to me right now.
I not sold it to myself by saying that because I didn't really care for 30 Rock. But like, yeah, I was like, okay, well, this is a show. It was on. It was.
There are Muppets.
Yeah, it was well shot. There are
Is
Muppets.
Pepe the King Prawn in it? Because if he's not, what's the point?
I've seen him in some of the promos.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think he is. Yeah, I think he's in the first
Isn't that good
episode.
much? Okay.
Swedish Chef.
Yep.
Yes.
Fozzie. Fozzie is dating what's her name from Garfunkel and Oates, the blonde one.
Oh, yeah. Swedish name.
Fish Mooney.
Yeah. A fish. A moon.
Swedish Fish Mooney.
Ooh, Swedish Fish a Mooney.
That makes Swedish Fish even worse.
Yeah. As if they weren't bad enough to begin with.
Ingrid Michaelson.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll believe you. Gonzo's in it. My favorite Muppet.
My favorite Muppet. My favorite Muppet.
Sure.
Who is yours, Josh?
Beaker.
Okay.
He's in it. And Professor Bunsen. Honeydew. Right.
Still no eyes.
Nope.
But yeah, so it was
Scooter's in it.
It was kind of Scooter. It was still kind of odd then.
I don't know. That was funny, but it was.
Skeeter was a cousin.
Right, Cousin Skeeter.
Yeah. Same guy that created Keenan and Kel created Cousin Skeeter.
Oh, well, at least he did one thing right.
Yeah. Well, and now Megan Good, who was on that show, is now on the Minority Report show. Yeah.
Again, at least he did one thing good. I have no desire to see Minority Report.
It's not bad.
My parents watched Limitless, which is based on the movie Limitless, which was based on the book Flowers for Algernon.
Also not bad.
I don't know.
Any of those things, really.
It's funny.
I was a big fan of Flowers for Algernon.
I was a big fan of Charlie, starring Cliff Robertson.
There you go. That was good too.
Yeah, become Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was an odd show.
It was. It just felt weird. There was plenty of funny stuff in it, but I've never been huge on like the documentary style show.
So you never watched The Office?
I did watch it, but that was the first and last show of that style that I enjoy. Well, no, Arrested Development. I like not Arrested Development.
Parks and Recreation.
Well, yeah, okay, fine. There's like 5. Parks and Rec, The Office, and the Modern Family. I enjoy Modern Family, and that has that documentary stuff.
I've kind of been like off of Modern Family.
I did too. I mean, I enjoyed the beginning of it, and then it wasn't like I was like, fuck Modern Family.
Yeah,
I just stopped watching it.
Yeah, same thing with me in The Office. Well, actually, no. At a certain point, I was like, I don't want to watch The Office.
Yeah,
anymore.
for me, it was. I
yeah.
love The Office. Like, I love it more than I
still haven't
dislike
finished
it.
The
But
Office.
like, there was a clear point for me. I was like, it's time to
after
catch
season
this later.
3.
And I would tune back in for key episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the wedding, Goodbye Michael Scott, and the finale and stuff like that. But like, it's just
the hard end of The Office for me was when Jim and Pam had a kid. Like,
they have a couple kids.
Yeah, I know they have a couple, but like their first kid, I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. Like the main draw for me was the Jim and Pam relationship, and
they,
more
won't
so
they?
the will they won't they,
Yeah.
and then they did. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they got. I don't know, like in terms of like,
And then like the wedding was
sitcom
like
standard,
where
or
it started to teeter off.
yeah, but in like TV shows like standards, how quick it was because it's the end of season 3 that they get together. Like they ask her to go on a date, and for me, I'm like a massive Frasier fan. It's like 8 years until Daphne and Niles get together, and then even when they get together, they can't get together for like half the season. You know?
How much of life is wasted on waiting?
I'm just gonna let the fucking silence wash over.
No,
Dead air.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's a reference from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so
Mm.
I would expect no less.
Yeah.
But it is delivered by John Hurt. Nobody loves John Hurt.
I love John Hurt.
Favorite doctor. That's not true, but
He's my favorite Elephant Man.
he's my he's my
not
favorite
a monster.
He's my favorite guy at the back of the train, in that Chris Evans train movie, What the fuck was it called?
Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Excuse
Get me
I
off.
enjoyed Snowpiercer.
Get me off that
a lot
train.
of people. A lot
Until
of people.
the end.
I feel like a lot of people enjoyed Snowpiercer.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people enjoy Black Mass too,
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that too.
which is fine.
If
but
you enjoy it, fine. It doesn't change my opinion, and it doesn't wreck my day.
It doesn't change the fact that you're wrong.
me neither.
Still haven't seen it, so
Yeah.
I just assumed
You saw Pawn
On
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, I did. Yeah, it was a movie that. Excuse me. Oh, that's fucking. Why?
Wild West,
Yeah, Jim West.
Desperado.
Stop it.
I'm gonna trick you into
It's
singing.
gonna be like Cartman. You have to like finish singing "Come Sail Away." Yeah. So I had heard about it. I saw a trailer for it like the like that Thursday. I was like, oh shit, is that gonna be out? So I checked, and it was playing that Friday at the Fairfax Town Center for you Northern Virginia people, and I was like, I'm gonna go check it out, and because I'm interested in. I guess trailblazers in whatever profession they choose, and
I used to drive a Trailblazer.
oh well, I'm interested in you.
Yeah.
And Bobby Fischer was a fascinating human being, and really changed the game of chess forever. And Tobey Maguire plays said Bobby Fischer, and it's about the early '70s World War III on a chessboard between Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. And basically, it stopped the world, and people watched a chess match, 24-game chess match, because the way it was kind of given to the public was it was this lone American genius versus the Soviet Empire.
So it was like Rocky IV, but chess.
Yeah. Yes. I would say more Miracle on Ice, but like an actual event. But and earlier.
I was about to say, you're telling me Rocky IV didn't happen.
Unfortunately, no, kids. That's not how the Cold War was ended. But
We don't know.
in some alternate universe, maybe. In some alternate universe, they're like, they won a hockey game. In our universe, Rocky beat fucking Ivan Drago.
Drago!
But the Miracle on Ice and the World War III on a chessboard, two classic moments of the American, the sole American going up against the Soviet Empire and winning. And it made chess like the most popular sport in America for like that year. Bobby Fischer was the most famous man on the planet, and then immediately went into obscurity. And the movie doesn't cover that really. It really covers up to the end of that game, that series. But Tobey Maguire plays Bobby Fischer, and he's really good in it. He's got the classic Tobey Maguire face during scenes. He gets really angry and paranoid. And just had flashbacks to Spider-Man 3. Some of the faces he makes, like "This is my shot," and he's like freaking out. But again, it's a labor of love for him.
He's got
Supposedly,
the emo hair and
no, unfortunately not. No. But supposedly he's been working on this movie for 10 years, to getting it made at least.
So since like pre-production on Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, which is crazy to think he was still Spider-Man when this was going on. And I still love his Spider-Man stuff. But
1 and 2 are great.
Yeah, and 3's got its moments. Good and bad.
Great memes out of 3.
Yeah, there's great memes out of 2 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 is like meme central. And honestly, and I was talking to Sam about this earlier, so it's not a surprise now, but like Peter Sarsgaard's in it, and it's seriously one of my favorite performances of the year. He plays, they call him their second, kind of like their helper, their trainer, in the chess world. And the character that Peter Sarsgaard plays, I can't remember his name, unfortunately. I'm terrible at that today. But luckily my dad's not a massive chess player, so he won't care if I forgot his name.
Still out of the will.
Yeah, fuck you. He
Kasparov?
No, he's American. He beat Spassky as a younger man. So it's kind of like, you beat him, and he's like, we were young men.
We are young.
Yeah.
Fight like a younger man.
You fight like a younger man. Bane is in it. He's in it. He's the announcer. E4 to F7.
You sunk my battleship.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but there's no battleships here, Bane.
Queen's Rook.
This is chess, Bane. You
God,
idiot.
Bane.
Yeah, you muffled
Bane
idiot.
of my existence.
Yeah.
Boo.
He shows up in Batman 66, the comic book that came out this past week.
Bane?
Like Bane
Or
66.
Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Fischer, yeah. Bobby Fischer
Tobey
plays
Maguire
Bane.
as Bobby
Oh, it's
Fischer.
Bobby Fischer. But anyway, the movie is really good. It's there's moments, again, it's two guys playing chess, at certain parts, and your heart is racing, and it's really intense, and you're on the edge of your seat, and it's really fascinating. Like chess is such a fascinating a sport to me. So much so that I downloaded the chess app after watching the movie. Joined chess.com, played the computer, and lost in like 4 moves. It was like embarrassing. Like chess, I swear that like the chess.com was going to send me a message like, "Hey, so log out and never log back in again," because that was the most embarrassing shit we've ever seen.
Hey, loser.
Yeah. You couldn't even remember Don Larson's name. You picturing a perfect game, you turd. That was chess.com.
Making fun of you for not knowing baseball
Yeah,
stuff.
something that I hadn't said yet. But I highly recommend Pawn Sacrifice. You don't need to know anything about chess, like me, an idiot who loses in like four moves because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. How many times can I say Go see it. It's
Take
worth
a shot every time Jake says
Yeah, it's worth
always-
checking out. It's an enjoyable film.
And I always liked Ed Zwick.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
he's the director. Yes, you give him
Does a
props.
good job. Directed Glory. Directed Last Samurai. Directed.
Some people like I was watching.
Some people hate Last
I
Samurai.
love Last Samurai. I
Yeah.
own Last Samurai. I'm a Tom Cruise, fan. But
Sure.
like some people fucking hate that movie. Like they're
Yeah.
like it's embarrassingly bad.
They're like, it's Dances with Wolves in Japan, and when I'm first off, I'm like, it's better than Dances with Wolves.
Well,
Shots
first of all,
fired.
first of all, if someone explained that movie to as to me as Dances with Wolves in Japan, I'd be like, fuck yeah, because I love Dances with Wolves. But it's
Yeah, I mean, shit. People said Avatar was Dances with Wolves with space Smurfs,
Yeah,
and
It's Pocahontas in space. Get it right.
well,
but
had bits of Dances with Wolves too.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner just is riding a fucking horse, like with his arms spread out, like in the beginning. One of my favorite scenes in that film. Lovely film. Buffalo, fish Mooney, celery. What else? Keywords.
Celery.
But it's Zwick. I think the
Yeah,
weakest
yeah.
movie he's ever directed is probably Defiance.
Defiance is it's
With-
unfortunate because I was really psyched to see it and it was all right.
The Daniel Craig one.
That's the one.
Also, Liv Schreiber learned Russian for the movie because he plays Spassky and all of his lines are in Russian. And it's not just like one line here or there. It's like
Has like monologues.
very like the staccato, very
Yeah.
quick Russian kind of stuff.
He's like a piece of iron.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, like, in the way they portray the Russians, and this is very much like, or the Soviets, is very much like they do in most movies. The glasses, a big posse of people, very intense, stern. But Spassky, and it shows in the movie and in real life, had a lot of admiration for Bobby Fischer, and it's unfortunate because Bobby Fischer went off the fucking deep end, man. Like after winning
Vinny
the world
Vince.
championship, worse than Vinny Vincent. Vinny Vincent's still alive, I think.
Nobody knows.
As far as we know.
As far as we
Vinny
know.
Vincent doesn't even know.
Yeah. Am I alive?
Do I live?
Yeah, and then he shreds real quick. And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He looks in the mirror and he's like, "I found Vinny Vincent." But there's a documentary that I watched on Vudu called "Bobby Fischer vs. the World," which kind of explains his entire life story. And it really is sad, man. Like what happens to him later on.
What about Searching for Bobby Fischer?
It's a movie. He's not in it.
Yeah. One of Ben Kingsley's favorite roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a good
I mean, it has everything to do with Bobby Fischer in the sense that it has to do with chess.
job.
But it's not, it's not a story about Bobby Fischer. And I think that misled some people. Like the Bobby Fischer purists are like, what the fuck? This is about Bobby Fischer.
They didn't search for anyone.
Yeah. I didn't see Bobby Fischer once. That movie's a failure. They didn't find Bobby Fischer. Supposedly Bobby Fischer, like, he never saw the movie, but he heard about it, and he was like, fuck that movie.
I mean, technically, it's not called Finding Bobby Fischer.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's true. I guess that's small victories.
But I think the big thing about his fight with Spassky, or his confrontation with Spassky, I would argue the stress of that match is what broke him mentally. Like, it pushed his paranoia and everything over the edge.
I think, the movie really plays it that that he becomes almost at peace during the match. It's leading up to the match, and it's listening to like these crazy communist manifesto books on tape. Thinking that the Russians or the Soviets were listening to his thoughts through his his fillings in his teeth, and he was saying this stuff like on TV, and his people were pulling him aside like, "Hey, don't say that shit because it's fucking nuts." They do have a moment.
Get nuts?
Yeah, come on. They have a moment on where he's on the Dick Cavett show, and of course Tobey Maguire. They do like the Forrest Gump thing where Tobey Maguire really plays him. But I watched the actual interview, and there's a moment in the interview where he's like, Dick Cavett's like, "What is your favorite part of chess? Like, what's the equivalent of a home run in chess?" And he looks at, he's sitting like really like nonchalantly, like kind of like, legs spread out, like arm, just really like not like this like poised professional looking guy. And he's like, "It's watching them break, watching me break their ego," and like the crowd's like, ha, 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 like kind of like nervously laughing, and he's like, and Dick Cavett's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah. When you see it coming and they realize it and you see it on their face, that's my favorite part." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And they say that in the movie, and then you see it in the movie when Spassky realizes it. And he's just like, "Fuck!" But Spassky like stands up and gives him a standing ovation because he's like, he's the greatest chess player of all time.
To his dying day, Spassky he always considered him a noble, worthy opponent.
Yeah, I mean they had as some people would put the greatest matches in chess history, and they actually played again in the early '90s as kind of like a revenge match, and I think Bobby Fischer won.
A rubber match.
Yeah. It was a tag team, and it's what got Bobby Fischer in trouble, and he was never able to set foot in the U.S. again, and was granted asylum in Iceland, where they had the famous World War III chessboard in the first place.
Yeah, because Iceland, if you're a grandmaster, you get to stay there for free.
Mm-hmm. And so, when you read about grandmasters, it's like reading about the fucking Jedi, because they're like, he's the youngest grandmaster and passed on his knowledge to so and so who was an up and coming master, and like the way you read about like the rules and the and the
it's fascinating. Yeah,
chess really is. I mean,
there's more chess combinations than there are like connections in the brain.
Oh, I mean, they talk about it, and that's one of the things. Not most, but there's a good chunk of famous grandmasters, like geniuses at chess, who completely unraveled and lost their minds. Like they talk about a couple of them in the movie that would like wander the streets naked and like just went absolutely fucking insane, because you're constantly thinking there's more fucking moves than stars in the sky, like the things that they're thinking of and possibilities. And when I play chess, I'm like, oh, I know this move, I'm gonna get his pawn, and it's like, fuck you, there's bishop's gone. I'm like, but I got his pawn. It's about who gets the most, right?
Exact same way that I play chess.
That's why, kids, Jake Bozick will never be associated with chess except for the worst motherfucker on the planet with chess. Just an absolute dumpster fire of chess. Awful.
You let the enemy bishop pin your king.
I'm assuming so. It was so embarrassing. I just shut off the app.
Shut up!
Yeah. You don't know shit. I'm going back to Spider-Man Unlimited.
I used to teach chess. That's how you get the quickest
checkmate. Yeah. You just I was like, what?
I read one chess book. It was like Chess for Dummies kind of thing.
Because the best-selling book is Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess. Is the best-selling literature in chess history.
No, like the first lesson was like the Blitzkrieg, and it's like how to win a chess game with like in under 10 moves or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, aha, I'm pretty hot shit, and I would start to do it, and then like people were like, oh, you're doing the Blitzkrieg, pop, pop, pop. And I was like, fuck.
Bobby Fischer once beat a Soviet so badly that the Russians took away all of his like grandmaster whatever. Refused. He wasn't allowed to travel. His day job was a musician. They wouldn't let him perform in public, and Bobby Fischer destroyed this man's career. And then like they're talking about like because he was a very aggressive player. He would come out aggressively. And he hated draws, so he would have games that lasted like 103 moves because he just refused to draw. He saw no point in it. He thought it was stupid. But you just read about him sometime. It's absolutely fascinating. And like I said, it just he did really, really go off the deep end and said some really heinous, terrible things. But in terms of just like the mind of like chess and what he tried to do for chess was fascinating, because you could win like every match, which he basically did. He won most of his matches, but it's not about that. Like the thing that I realized leaving the movie was leaving your mark, a positive mark on whatever you're doing, the game you're playing, the genre of music, or just music in general, the movie, film, whatever, and something that before you were a part of said thing. And after you're done with it, it's better now because you were a part of it. And Bobby Fischer is one of those people with chess. I mean, like I said, he made chess fucking popular in the United States of America when no one gave a shit about chess.
So it's not about winning. It's about sending a message.
It's about hashtag respect and hashtag never giving up. Hashtag don't draw. No drawing. Unless you're a comic artist.
Hashtag hustle, loyalty, respect.
Yes. Hashtag celery.
And celery.
Celery.
As warned by my favorite doctor,
I don't know.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't drop knowledge on me when I have nothing. I don't know dick about it.
Well, no, that's actually the definition of dropping knowledge on you.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's no knowledge, like you have no basis, so I just add it.
Well, okay. Let me amend that. You can't say like my favorite doctor and then look at me and I'm just like I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no.
Are you joking? Is there a celery wearing doctor? I don't know.
We all know that look of Sam just like saying something as if it's like general knowledge, and he's like, like mine, and everyone's like, what? What's a doctor?
Do doctors wear celery?
You're I was about to say your gynecologist. Your general practitioner.
Proctologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 fingers, let's make it 3.
Hey, Sean William Scott.
Yeah. Milk those glands. But yeah, no, that's
the
cool.
look on Josh's face right now.
Josh, you chose to be here. This is like an insane asylum. You checked yourself in. You could leave anytime
podcast
you want.
Welcome to Bobby Fischer world.
Yeah. Ooh, God, I hope not.
Oh, I get that
I
reference.
hope not.
Yeah, we're not that anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
No. Crazy maybe, but yeah.
I feel like between the 4 of us, we might be that crazy.
Yeah. Because I'm sure he does some crazy fucking shit in that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, it does kind of the Tarantino where the beginning is the end, where he's like ripping apart portraits, and it's unreliable. Where like we'll be experiencing things like he is, but then they show what's really happening. There's a great scene where he's in his room and there's like a pounding on the door, and you can hear Russian footsteps and Soviet.
Is it in Russian?
They're speaking Soviet, and wearing lots of celery. And he's like pounding on the door, and then it cuts to what's actually happening, and it's his manager, and he's just slightly tapping on the door, and he's like, Bobby, and he's just like, oh shit, and he's like taking apart his phone and checking it, and I've never seen more phones taken apart in a movie in my life.
And you've seen a lot of Bond movies.
Yeah.
All of them, may chance.
But the thing is, Roger Moore doesn't give a shit when he's being bugged. He's like, good.
I think the last time Bond gave a shit about being like surveilled was...
Surveilled.
Yeah.
Survaced.
Yeah. Self-serviced. But the...
he cares about that a lot.
I think it was Lazenby. When he's like going through his like hotel room, or when he gets to the Swiss resort, and he's just like, oh.
Well, I remember in Live and Let Die, he goes to, and he's just like...
That's the only time Roger Moore cares.
And then he kills the snake while he's...
with a barbasol.
Yeah, while he's shaving. Because he's Roger Moore.
And he smokes a cigar while shaving, apparently.
Yeah.
You don't?
Apparently, I need to step up my game.
I guess we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Throw on the white tux jacket and start shaving while you're smoking a cigar.
Yeah, that. I always found those 2 Bond films interesting because he's like so noticeably younger between that and suddenly like Spy Who Loved Me 3 years after Man with a Golden Gun, all of a sudden he becoms like Grandpa Moore.
Well, again,
That's
we were saying
like what happened with Daniel Craig.
Bond ages you like the presidency because like it's there's a lot of shit going on. I had to burp, so I had to get something out really quick before I burped in the microphone.
I mean, think about like Brosnan. Like you watch him in like Goldeneye Tomorrow Never Dies, and it's like, oh, prime Brosnan, like Mrs. Doubtfire Brosnan, like Lawnmower Man Brosnan.
Oh. I like the 2 different reactions we got there from Lawnmower Man.
And then you watch
Brosnan.
The World Is Not Enough 2 years later, after Tomorrow Never Dies, and he's like graying at the temples. His face is like fucking like scarred up, and it's just like, what happened to you, man?
Yeah.
Like, what happened in those 2 years? Oh, the Thomas Crown affair.
Yeah.
That's the secret. Stay away from the Thomas Crown affair.
Don't remake the Thomas Crown affair.
Yeah.
Bad moves.
It'd be hilarious if Roger Moore had been in the original Thomas Crown affair and it lined up perfectly so that was actually like an accurate statement.
Yeah, I mean,
clearly it is the Thomas Crown affair.
That's what wipes people out. I mean, Connery.
Maybe Roger Moore watched the Thomas Crown affair.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, Steve McQueen. But Connery in between. I mean, there's Honor Majesty Secret Service in between, but you look at You Only Live Twice, and you look at Diamonds Are Forever.
Whew.
Diamonds Are Forever. He's like out of shape.
Doesn't give a shit. Although I will say, Connery probably ages the best before. If we're going from Dr. No to You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of looks like Connery the whole time. I mean, he stays in shape and
if anything,
like
he gets in better shape.
Probably, yeah.
And then there's that aging that takes place to Never Say Never Again.
He's in better shape in
Oh,
Never
yeah.
Say Never Again than he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I just assumed because it was like 20 years later. Well,
We
maybe
should have
that's
started
fine,
the fucking podcast
12,
with the
yeah.
Never Say Never Again.
You never know.
but it's always next week, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Is it though?
No. It's just a remake of Thunderball.
Yeah, a worse remake of Thunderball.
Thunderball.
Yeah, it went up against Octopussy, right? And
Yeah.
lost hard.
It did.
Yeah.
Octopussy won because I mean,
It's a
Pussy.
better movie.
yeah.
Galore.
Well, it's just a bit.
Literally. Right?
No,
Goldfinger.
Ah! I don't
Way
know my
earlier.
Bond.
Yeah.
But there's
It was still...
yeah, but there's I don't know. It just Never Say Never Again. Every time I watch that movie, I'm like, this is the time.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm going to like
it's
it
not.
this time.
It's not a good movie. But when I was young, Jake, before I knew who your favorite doctor was,
So 20 minutes
Five,
ago?
yeah.
I watched it right before we came over. I watched the shit out of Never Say Never Again because it was like VHS. I was just like, fuck it, it's Connery. Because like when I was a youngling,
When you were a young boy.
Connery was my favorite because that was all I had seen.
Yeah.
And so I was like, shit, we get Connery again. And so I was like watching it. And I was just this like blinders of the fact that this movie sucks, Jake. There's like this like nagging thing in my head, like, dude, this movie sucks. I'm like, I don't care. This is.
Do you
like,
think Never Say Never Again is worse than Diamonds?
Yeah, I have nostalgia for Never Say Never Again more than Diamonds Are Forever for me. It's just a mess. It's just you know.
So
again,
then Diamonds Are Forever is worse than Never Say Never Again.
yeah. Did I say the opposite?
I heard Diamonds Are Forever was worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the only good thing that came out of Diamonds was that Connery gave his fucking money to charity. Like that was the best thing that came out of that movie.
All £3 million to the Scottish orphanages in Edinburgh.
That's good. But the rest of that movie, I don't like. I don't care for.
Yeah. Even you get to see Blofeld and Drag.
I don't care for this.
I don't care for Blofeld drag.
Yeah.
Just an unnecessary movie. Like nothing. None of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think if like Chris was alluding to, Daniel Craig ages quite a bit between Quantum of Solace and Skyfall. Part of that is in Skyfall he's supposed to be middle-aged, like he's supposed to be broken down.
Lazenby aged quite a bit between the filming of the movie and the premiere of the movie.
Oh yeah, he's got the beard. Yeah, they didn't. In fact, when they saw it, when he refused to shave the beard, they actually rescinded. They were like, you know what, you don't have to do press for this movie because he refused to cut his hair or shave, and he had publicly quit before Honor Majesty's Secret Service even came out, and he was just like, no, I'm gonna do it. But like he basically self-financed his own press tour for Honor Majesty's Secret Service.
And look at how well it turned out.
I know. He gets to play Jor-El in Superboy
Boom.
20 years later. God, that show was fucking terrible. There are people that are like, that show is awesome. And I'm like,
What? People?
I'm blinded by nostalgia.
What people? I mean, I get blinded by nostalgia, but what people?
Blinded by nostalgia.
Yeah.
revved up like a deuce in the middle of the night. Oh, fuck.
He got down, but he never got up. He gonna take it.
Almost.
What's your favorite James Bond film, Josh?
What's your favorite aging of a James Bond
Yeah.
actor?
Who's your favorite president, and why is it
Say
James Buchanan?
God damn it, Josh. Why don't you answer us?
Say something so they know you're still here.
GoldenEye.
Okay.
That's your favorite Bond?
President?
Yes.
That was your favorite president? Goldeneye? He was
Yes.
alright. He was alright.
The actor.
Good foreign policy.
The actor Goldeneye
Good foreign
was
policy
your
from
favorite
Goldeneye.
actor to portray Bond.
And favorite Bond film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brosnan over everybody else.
Oh, God, no. No.
Oh.
T-Dot all the way.
Yeah.
Oh.
T-Dole.
Yeah.
But-
yeah.
He's my
yeah.
favorite. He's my favorite. Sorry.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris.
He's
say
my
the
favorite
words.
Gallifreyan.
T-Dole forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't seen that episode where he shows
No.
up on Doctor Who.
Oh, I want to watch that.
Yeah.
No,
It's
the
End of Time.
mhm.
He's just in that one episode?
Yeah.
well,
Would it be
two,
if I-
technically
It's a
it's a
two-parter.
two-parter.
If I watched it, would I just be out of my mind? I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
No, I don't think so. It was
No,
basi-
because it's
it was-
Doctor
it
Who.
was
They
a-
do a good
It
job
was
of
it
explaining.
was its own thing.
it was a TV movie.
Yeah, it was a
okay.
made-for-TV movie that was based.
Is he a Time Lord?
Yeah. Well, yes, yeah. He's a Gallifreyan, which is
shit.
the race of people that are the Time
Why isn't
Lords.
he a doctor? Why isn't
Right?
he why isn't he Doctor Who right now?
Right?
Shit, why isn't Timothy Dalton Doctor Who?
These are
'Cause he
all
blew his
questions I've
chance.
asked.
Yeah, David Morrissey didn't end
know.
up becoming the Doctor.
Did you watch the Morrissey episode?
No. I've only seen the first season of Matt Smith minus
because
one episode.
because if I remember correctly, Morrissey's episode is like right there in that same like block.
It's the first special.
Yeah, and there's like what 3 specials? 4?
4. It's Waters of Mars, Force of the Dead.
Waters of Bar is very funny.
Yeah. Which is official now.
Yeah.
But
Which is why everyone should not be freaking out positively that Mars has water.
What? Not freaking out positively?
Yes.
should we be negative? Oh, because of what happens because of the Waters of Mars.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, Doctor Who fans, it's fiction. I hate
wait
to
and
break it to
see.
you. Let me tear that Band-Aid right off.
Yeah, there'll never be a space cruiser named the Titanic that escorts people via robot angels to heaven.
We'll wait and see.
There is no space city floating on the back of a whale.
We'll wait and
I love
see.
that episode. I got that one.
Ah! But yeah, so
Actually, Amy Pond is one of my favorite quotes of all time, and that's the one which I can't remember it off the top of my head now. They mentioned sadness, and it's sad.
Right.
But here's
that's a good episode.
from a guy who knows dick about Doctor Who, right?
George Lazenby, or not George Lazenby. Timothy Dalton is the best Gallifreyan. I know, right?
Yes. I haven't even seen it, but I'm just gonna go on and does he have a mustache?
Yes, he does.
Oh, fuck it.
It's not T. Dalt if he doesn't have a mustache. Sorry, fans of his 2 Bond movies.
You can't say that.
I
You
just
can't
did.
fucking say
I just did.
it.
What about
I have not seen, other than his 2 Bond movies, I have never seen a movie with him without a mustache. So
He didn't have. I don't think he has it in Toy Story 3, even though you don't see it.
well,
but
I haven't
when he
seen
was
Toy Story
when
3.
he's recording it, he just has the crazy T-Dalt hair, which I love.
If you've ever seen the
Oh, man.
if you've never seen Everything or Nothing, it's a documentary that Ion, I guess, did about themselves.
It was on Netflix. I don't know. I don't know if it still is, but it was on Netflix.
Yeah, about the creation of the James Bond film franchise,
Uh-huh.
and all of Timothy Dalton's talking head interviews. He's got scraggly, long white hair, and he's just
That's true. Now that I'm now that I'm thinking, every movie you've seen with him, because I know, Hot Fuzz and
Flash Gordon,
Rocketeer, Flash Gordon. Yeah, he's got the staff.
His appearance on Doctor Who.
Sweet.
I actually can't think of anything else. I know there's a couple other things.
But yeah, he's just it's almost like he's on trial.
Yeah,
During
I feel like it's like a wood room, and he's just sitting there, and he's just because I feel like a lot of people think that he hated being James Bond because there a famous quote of his where he said when he was driving down some road, he looked up and saw a billboard, and on the billboard was all the Bonds up until Brosnan except him. He wasn't represented on the board. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure even George Lazenby was, because George Lazenby has a weird kind of people. There's that phase where everyone's like, "Fuck George, who the fuck George Lazenby?" And then people are like, "He's pretty George Lazenby's pretty underrated," and it's back and forth. But I don't know
It's
what.
not his fault that his movie was terrible.
No, but it's his fault that he quit.
Yeah.
So.
Offered a 7-film contract.
That's insane. What a world. In that world, in that alternate universe,
Yeah.
the Rocky 4 fight actually happened.
Yeah, but in that universe, that means just imagine every single Roger Moore film with George Lazenby instead.
Essentially,
Here's
yeah.
the thing.
And in
as
that
much
same universe, Paul McGann got more than just the backdoor pilot.
and Timothy Dalton is fucking Doctor Who. He's not fucking Doctor Who.
Timothy Dalton took over Doctor Who from George Lazenby's 5 seasons.
But
Wait, what?
I
I
don't
meant Paul McGann.
I don't remember what I was talking
I
about.
got too excited with what I was saying.
You were talking about how Timothy Dalton saw the billboard with.
Oh yeah, and so he goes. That's when he looked up and he realized he was free because he wasn't associated solely with James Bond. But then there's a great thing where they did this honoring all the Bonds. They brought him on stage and hey, tell us about how great Bond is. And they get the Timothy Dalton part, and they was the Bond series is forever with me. I think I mentioned it on the License to Kill commentary. But
available now.
It's something where I feel kind of like how people think Frank Miller hates Superman. It's just not true.
Yeah, but when he's during his interview portions, they're well, people would come up and be like, "This, I can't bring my my 8-year-old to see this
Yeah.
film, and he's like, it was never made for
Yeah, he's
8-year-olds.
like almost pissed. He's like, they were never made for 8-year-olds. And he's like, just like silence, and you're just like, oh
He's
shit.
got, like, the long, scraggly, like, doomsday hair. He's
Yeah.
like, ah!
Yeah.
Like,
But then he has like a smirk, like, what the fuck's the matter with you? Why would you bring your 5-year-old to license a kill?
yeah, I was never intended for 8 years old.
Yeah. We couldn't call a license revoked because people were too stupid and didn't know what revoked meant.
That's why Led Zeppelin isn't spelled with L-E-D.
Yeah. Lead Zeppelin. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And George Lazenby's like interview, he's basically just talking about how like he's like, I didn't actually quit. My agent quit for me. It's like you probably could
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020, bruh.
Yeah. Georgie,
Yeah.
Mr. Big Fry Chocolate Man.
Yeah.
That's how he got famous in Britain because
Yeah.
he would appear whistling in chocolate commercials carrying boxes of chocolate. And I guess one of the producers saw it and was just like,
Him.
Yeah. He would be fantastic for one film and then quit on us.
yes, we'll offer him a multi-million-dollar contract to be in 7 Bond films for the rest of the 70s.
What out of the Roger Moore ones, which ones do you think he would have fit perfectly with? For Yours Only.
Only for you
A great
to
song.
see what no one else can see. Never breaking free for your eyes only. Yes, I think because that's the most gritty, raw Moore film. And he looks uncomfortable in a lot of it because of it.
Yeah. But
Because he's killing people like in cold blood. He's
Mhm.
kicking people off cliffs and laughing at, well, not laughing at
no, yeah.
He should be. But he's like, he's taunting him as he's like
Is
killing
that the one with Jaws?
Nah,
first
No,
one?
unfortunately.
it's the first one
Which
without
one?
Jaws.
Which one
Yeah.
was the one? I think it was the first one with Jaws. It was
Spy
the-
Love
Me.
Yeah, in Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He does like go out of the dude holding his like tie.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And he smacks it.
Yeah.
They kind of bring that back in Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, the dude grabs Bond's tie on top of the opera house and he's just like, "Fuck you."
Mm-hmm.
Do you? What is your thought on Quantum of Solace? A lot of people shit on that movie.
I enjoyed it.
I think it's okay.
Here's the thing, man. First things first, I'll eat your brain. I think
First things first, I'm the realist.
Oh God. Drop down and let the whole world feel this. Is that how? I think
I
that's
have
the next
no
line.
idea.
Okay. It's fucking. I think it's not Fergie. What's her face?
Iggy.
Iggy Azalea. Thank you. I acted like I didn't know. Please.
Like you didn't know.
Please. Yeah, I actually like Quantum of Solace. You know, it's the weakest of his 3, but I mean, look at the other 2. You know, I think it's a fun movie. It's really
Coming
this quick,
soon, look at
compact.
this 4.
Yeah, coming up soon. I'm excited for that. I know we're all excited for that. But we're gonna
I
sit.
miss the poster being backwards.
I know. Yeah, we're gonna sit at our. We're gonna sit in the getting our dicks blown off seats.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I love
Sa-
getting
Sam,
my dick blown off.
Sam inadvertently and created the dick blow off seats. Let me explain to you why, because people were like, "Oh shit."
No, you know what? I don't.
It's you know what? No, we're not going to explain it because it's kind of like pointless.
Actually, now I kind of want to know.
But yeah. So at Fairfax Corner
Mhm.
for the Northern Virginia people,
Most
it's
theaters.
the stadium seating. With the stadium seating, there's like that break in between where there's like the little like walkway, and then there's the flat kind of chair, flat
The floor
section.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh and I had
The
dick blown
orchestra.
off seats and when we saw Tomorrowland.
Mm.
Ah, yes.
And when we were going to see Skyfall, because we watched Quantum of Solace right before it, if I remember correctly, and we were all like, hey, why don't we just sit at the back row of the floor section? It's like the perfect place. Like Sam's like, we're gonna get our dicks blown off, and I was like, dicks blown off.
You're
wasn't
not selling me.
It wasn't so much that like I was like we're gonna get our dicks like when I was describing it.
Guys, we're
Oh, it's when
gonna.
it's when you sat down
We
and you
sit-
turned to me and you
We
were like,
sit down and like they have like the THX or whatever sound system they're using. It's like it's the one with like the 3D like water bubble that explodes and reforms.
yeah,
Pretty sure that is THX.
Yeah, and like
THX
that
730.
happens. And I just turned to the guys around, including Jake, and I was just like, "Oh, guys, we are about to get our dicks blown off."
yeah. And I'm pretty sure at one point I
It
turned
does
you in the
sound
movie.
like a Sam Stone.
I'm pretty sure I turned to you at one point in the movie and I was like, we're getting our dicks blown off.
What?
So I feel like that's the what? And I yell it when it's a really quiet scene. We're getting our dicks blown off. I see a flashlight and the guy's like, "Come with me, sir." I'm like, "Oh shit, no!" Local idiot who loses 4 chess, move game. gets dick blown off in theater.
To a free app.
Yeah, a free app with the computer on not even the moderate setting. It was bad. It was bad, guys. It was World War III on a fucking tablet.
World War III lasted that quickly.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know. It could. It could.
I saw The Last Starfighter and War Games.
Yeah, I was about to say I saw War Games.
Yeah.
And Judge Dredd.
The only way to win is to not play.
Yeah.
You
Babadook, you just can't. You just gotta
we
believe in him.
finally saw the Babadook.
Oh, you guys did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've
on
been
Netflix.
waiting.
Half awesome.
I've been waiting. Like every time, like it pops up on Netflix, I'm like, oh, maybe I should watch it. Oh wait, no, I wanted to watch it with the guys.
Well, I'll watch it again.
I won't.
Because we were gonna do a first time viewing commentary.
Yeah,
We could still do it.
we
It's
could.
Halloween right around the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know how full
I'm
our
gonna
schedule
need
is.
liquor for that film again.
There's tons of
Do you
liquor
not
right
like
over
the
there.
Babadook?
He doesn't like scary movies.
Well, I have very mixed reactions of the film.
Am I
for
the only one that hasn't
several
seen
reasons.
Babadook?
Yes.
In this room.
Jesus Christ!
It's okay. You're missing half
As
a great
soon-
movie and half a stupid movie.
As soon
I'll put
as
it
you
that
guys
way.
leave, I'm gonna
Yeah,
pop it in.
because I really want to know after you. Well, I guess Chris has seen it.
Yeah.
All three of yours.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Yeah. Next
thoughts
week
on what
next-
it actually was.
Next week we'll have an hour-long discussion of the Babadook.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna watch it like right away.
Yeah, because I have a theory on it, and I want to test it against you three.
Yeah, the voice is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's the scariest fucking thing.
One of them,
Yeah.
definitely.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to next week,
And
listeners.
you know what? Next week will be our first full-on October podcast, right?
Right in October country.
Yeah. Yeah, because this one lands the last day of September.
The very last, yeah.
I'm really bad with dates.
It's, the 30th.
Bad dates.
Oh yes, fingers crossed that by the time you're hearing this podcast, I will have been gainfully employed.
Oh.
Yay.
Yeah, were you thinking about getting that,
That cheddar.
JOB?
I mean, he doesn't. Whatever.
The cheddar.
We'll talk after this.
Yeah.
You guys got anything to add?
Jason Momoa body.
Yeah, Mega Man X. Why does Mega Man have two brothers, but they abandoned the first one after they introduced Zero?
What's your favorite Back to the Future movie, and why is it 3?
That's
It's
my
not.
favorite.
It's my favorite sequel. Of which I guess a 50-50 shot.
You know that real quick. Sorry,
Unless you include the Back to the Future the ride
real quick.
or the TV
Chris,
series.
you probably already know this.
I do.
But I was listening to Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs. Frasier Reconsidered, the Matt, Myra, and Kevin Smith podcast about Frasier. They talked about, of course, Back to the Future on it. Zemeckis, I know, while he's alive, he owns the rights and everything. Where it's like there'll never be a remake, and he's trying to get it in his like fucking
in his will.
in his will, and also his estate that they can never ever remake Back to the Future even long after he's dead. And I was like, that's fucking cool.
For me, it's pretty when it comes to remakes. Like I let the remake make the decision on whether it was a good idea or a bad idea.
I mean, there's plenty of great remakes.
But back to like The Thing. Come on,
Adventures of Robin Hood.
yeah.
Or Mark of Zorro.
And
There's more modern ones too, but
yeah.
Batman Begins.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that movie, but I don't know if it's a remake.
Every Batman film, if it doesn't
I mean,
continue
they're
right
all-
after the last one, is a remake.
It's a remake.
Yeah.
They're all remakes of Batman 66.
That's 100% true.
But like Back to the Future, that's one that I'm like, I don't ever want to see someone else do it. Like I would be fine if like they found a way to like continue the series and like maybe they were like, oh hey, we made actually no fuck it make a new time traveling movie. It doesn't have to be a thing. You can throw in
Shared
DeLoreans.
universe,
Yeah.
Looper, and
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Sure.
Well,
Throw in Clock Stoppers for good measure.
And Bill and Ted.
Well,
But fuck Doctor Who.
yeah, let me add on to that. Ghostbusters, one of the greatest films of all time. Diehard fan,
Yeah.
number one film of all time to me. I am perfectly okay with them just making a remake. Rebooting it. Obviously, they still want to try a third one. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, just like Sam Raimi still wants to, and technically has made a fourth Evil Dead movie
And surprisingly
within
enough,
the TV series that's coming out later.
fans of it, you'll either get fans that say, "Oh my God, it's women! You've destroyed the series," or "How dare you just remake this in general?"
My thing with Ghostbusters is I mean, I don't really care that they're making a remake, and I don't give a shit that it's all women. That's fine. They can. I have no problem with them being women, unlike Winston apparently. But
he recanted when he found out he can get the cameo.
oh, okay, and that's how he got the cameo. But my problem is, why the hell make a remake when you could just make a franchise? You know?
Yeah.
There was a dude in college that went by the name franchise, or Chise for short.
Well, then never mind. I never want to hear the word franchise ever again.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You've met him.
I have? Fuck it.
This is my friend Chise, short for.
Did he introduce
friend.
himself as Chise?
No, it's Brad.
Oh,
Oh.
what a loser!
Brad Barna, your franchise.
I hope he listens to this and it's like, I got a shout out.
Yeah. I'll
And
tell you.
then heard me say that it was stupid.
I hope on some level he already.
I mean,
knows.
yeah, it's been. I assume it's been, 5 years?
Since I
Ish.
graduated. He graduated a year before me.
Yeah. He's probably figured out by now that wasn't maybe the best idea. I mean, if it's his rap name or something like that, cool. That's a cool
DJ
rap
franchise?
name. Yeah.
That's not bad.
or just
Yeah,
franchise.
Right? Or yeah. Little franchise.
And
maybe?
you would obviously
Little franchise?
and obviously you would misspell franchise. You'd
Right,
throw
right,
a
with
Z
a
in
Z,
there,
yeah. Of
two
course, I
E's
mean.
like Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would your rapper? I guess we did that last week.
MC. What was mine?
MCC.
Dog?
Yeah.
Or something. like that?
MCC.
Yeah.
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 Master Control Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just watching Tron last week before we started recording.
Yeah.
On my new bitch ass Laserdisc.
Motherfuckers,
CAV quality
exclusive archive
edition or something like that.
collection.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, if you guys ever start collecting Laserdiscs, go for the Disney exclusive archive collection versions of movies. For Disney movies, of course. Criterion collections also work. They're the best around.
But yeah, you guys got anything to add?
I think we're good.
You don't have anything to say?
I got something to say.
Celery.
Listen to last week's episode if you haven't yet, guys.
Yeah.
Well, please do.
Yeah, we rap like
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Make that the most downloaded episode.
Yeah,
I hope so, man. That was a lot of fun.
that
Yeah.
was, yeah. This, I mean, you get the Mega Man intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It was a metal intro.
Yeah.
And then the episode goes to shit. But it was...
Right around the time that we started talking about Gotham, I don't know.
I think once we started, and then
This
it
week?
kept going,
Yeah.
and it's still
Scream
going.
Queens, man.
Scream Queens.
Go check it out. It's not awful. In fact, it's. I found it quite fun. You know.
Play some chess.
Yeah.
Gotham's gotten better.
Yeah. Play me in chess. I love playing chess. Reach out, SStone4. That's on one of the free apps.
One
Anyway,
of them.
yeah.
Download all of them.
All the free ones and search for SStone4, and then eventually we'll do battle.
See if you can find Jim Norton. He does all that stuff. You
Oh,
can,
yeah.
You can play Jim Norton.
Huge chess.
Man,
player.
he's like semi-joked about like doing a chess podcast. I was like, fucking do it, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam,
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
Damn, that beat was dope.